The tropical wave train continues in our area, as does the excessive heat. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. Great to see you on a Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. Coming up, we're going to be tracking some tropical waves, the rain and storms that is bringing to some of our area, but others that are still dealing with some excessive heat conditions. We'll look at that, and of course the tropical potential for the week ahead as well. As we get the video started, I have a special request for you guys. Always ask the drop of the comment section where you're viewing from, but today I want to know, are you team storms or are you team heat? Let me know in the comments section below what your area has been seeing. Rusty, I'm team storms. Rusty, I'm team heat. I'm very interested. Maybe some of you are saying, Rusty, I've been both because it's been exceptionally hot before we get those storms in. We'll get it going right now with what's happening in the Bahamas. That's how we'll kick off this video. Again, taking a look at the feels like temperatures in these areas. We're going to get above 100 in a couple of spots today, getting really close in Freeport and Nassau as we speak. As far as rain chances go, going to be pretty isolated in nature here. We'll take a look at the actual radar data from the Miami radar. And again, you don't see much. A couple of storms developing inland. Could we get an isolated shower or storm in the northwest Bahamas for today? Absolutely. Do I expect it to be a very good chance? No, not a big chance. There could be a few storms here or there, but that's going to be about it. So we'll follow this down. You notice maybe towards Cat Island, we had a brief shower near Arthurstown, but again, generally speaking, San Salvador's feels like temperature is well into the mid-90s. Again, an isolated lightning strike for Exuma and the Acklands down towards the Turks and the Caicos, but few and far between, relatively speaking. Still could get a couple of showers and storms in an isolated variety later this afternoon. Okay, things are changing here in a hurry with what's going on with our friends in Jamaica. First of all, we'll take a look at the feels like temperatures, which once again were exceptionally hot. Now, though, we are starting to see better thunderstorms developing across the island. You can see the lightning strikes near Kingston. There feels like temperature has dropped a bit. Same thing over Montego Bay. So I'm going to pause this right now. And again, in these late afternoon hours, you can see that lightning count go up. We had some pretty good lightning strikes inland, and then those storms have kind of just blossomed. If we take a look at the visible satellite imagery, you can see those higher cloud tops there. So the rain is relatively widespread, and in this environment, I don't expect it to be moving very quickly. This is the enhanced satellite data on top of the visible satellite data. It's a beautiful high resolution presentation here. I'll put that into motion and you can see those storms just blossom. Again, not everyone's going to get it, but heavy downpours, they're not moving much. 25 to maybe even 50 millimeters of rain in a couple of locations. I hope if you need it and you actually have some power, even if you don't have power, this is welcomed, right? We don't want folks who are still dealing with roof damage to have this rain and storms, but a lot of you in Jamaica have said, Rusty, we could really use the rain to relieve the heat. So I hope that is giving you some relief on this Tuesday. Again, let me know in the comments section below what you've been seeing. Also trying to get a few storms over Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. You can see the storms there over those islands bring the relief. Showers and storms then are going to try and push towards Grand Cayman, but not sure they're actually going to fully make it there. We'll see some storms developing in an isolated fashion over Hispaniola for today. I don't expect there to be a ton. It might favor the Haiti area here a little bit more than the Dominican Republic. It's going to be smoking hot. The Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, feels like temperature of 108. Again, you get to 110 Fahrenheit. That's 43.3 degrees Celsius. 115, you're in about the 46 degree Celsius range. Back over just real quick to show you that Cuba has seen some storms on this on this Tuesday afternoon. And again, it's been very localized, the storm activity here in Cuba recently, and that's what I expect again for today, meaning that it's very, regionalized. The storms will develop across the island, but they won't really push, and it's not a tropical wave influencing that. It's been a relatively quiet day as far as rain goes for our friends in Puerto Rico and the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands as well. We'll pop on the feels like temperatures, and again, they're pretty darn hot. Please be aware of that. There is an excessive heat warning for Puerto Rico for today. Fajardo area, San Juan, Ponce, feels like temperatures right around 110. Again, a feels like temperature combines the actual air temperature and the relative humidity, which also goes along with the dew point as well. So again, if you're not too familiar with the feels like temperature, it is one of those things where there's a chart and it is man-made, but it's what does it actually feel like to you when you step outside. So when you have a temperature in Puerto Rico of 91 with a dew point of 79, that's a relative humidity of 67%. You put that into the equation, you get a feels like temperature of 108. Bottom line is it's outrageously hot. Hey, we're getting some storms right now for portions of the Leeward Islands, Anguilla on over towards St. Martin, St. Eustatius and St. Bartholomew. You can see those temperatures beginning to fall at the hour as a nice little storm developed over that region. Let's take a look at the visible satellite imagery out of this. And again, nice little blow up of storms here on the viz. What we are noticing is that there's a little bit of moisture lifting to the north. That's from our tropical wave, which is moving through the Lesser Antilles as we speak. We still have our strong easterly trade winds. We talked about that, and we'll get more showers here. They've been more concentrated up in Anguilla and St. Martin, St. Bartholomew, but places like Barbuda and Antigua are certainly get some showers as well. You can see Antigua's temperature fall down. St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Eustatius, not yet. Towards Saba, Montserrat, still relatively dry. We're going to have an opportunity here the remainder of this Tuesday across Guadeloupe, Dominica as well. More moisture is coming into play. Martinique with a couple of showers at the hour, still mainly dry so far in St. Lucia, but you can see that flare up of moisture here. The biggest concentration of moisture with this tropical wave is way down here near Trinidad and Tobago and even off the South American coastline. When I show you the enhanced satellite imagery, you can clearly see that, okay? So some of that shower activity is lifting to the north. You notice Grenada has caught a shower so far for today. Nothing at Port of Spain for the most part as of yet, but there's been a few showers dotted in the islands. And again, these showers could be so choice in nature, friends. It's not like it's going to cover everyone, even across some of the smaller islands like St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Still going to be some showers and storms for Suriname and Guyana and portions of Venezuela. You can see Nueva Esparta has seen a little bit of rain for today, but it's also been very hot. Feels like temperature there after the rain has come back up to 100 degrees. Boy, that's rough. You get the morning rain, then you get the steamy conditions. I know my friends in the ABC Islands continue to suffer. This is a spot that just has not had a lot of rain. Feels like numbers 100 to 105. We'll talk about trying to get some rain in that area, but I feel like every day I mention that these waves are just coming through, but there's just a dearth of moisture right now in those areas. Let's go over to Central America. I'm going to zoom out real quick because our first tropical wave is basically right over inland sections of Honduras and Nicaragua and Costa Rica. Now, south of there, we have a big plume of moisture over Panama right now. We're going to get more storms later this afternoon and early this evening in Honduras and Nicaragua. They're really just beginning to get going right now. On over towards Cancun and Cozumel there, Quintana Roo, and then Belize. First of all, I'll put on the feels like numbers. It's been a hot day. Feels like temperatures around 100 to 105. Belize City is up to 111. Again, that's more than 43 degrees Celsius. Storms developing mainly inland. There could be a few storms along the coastline, but generally speaking, these are going to try and push west and inland. So if you live in interior sections of the Yucatan and Belize and Guatemala, El Salvador, you're going to have a little bit better chance for a few showers and storms. So again, friends, that's what it looks like on this Tuesday afternoon. Obviously, we have this tropical wave to be monitoring and another tropical wave out here in the main development region of the Atlantic. We've talked about how the Saharan dust is playing a factor here. When I show you the water vapor imagery, this is surrounded by relatively dry air. Now, Beryl was able to overcome that because it basically created its own environment. The wind shear was very light. Obviously, these tropical waves always bear watching, but at this point in time, the Hurricane Center isn't highlighting any of these waves for actual potential tropical development. But again, is it going to bring us rounds of showers and storms? Absolutely. As we get into the forecast, again, I appreciate you guys. If you want just a very simple payback for me, and I appreciate it, hit the like button for me right now. If you're not a subscriber to Meteo Mundo, you want the latest forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, your tropical updates, click that subscribe button. Thank you for sharing with the family and friends, and thank you again for finding ways to support us here as well. Speaking of those tropical waves, 3 that I'm monitoring, one again right over Central America will be moving into the Eastern Pacific. One right over the Lesser Antilles. Now, again, the moisture concentration is south towards the Windward Islands, but this will expand to the north and impact the Leeward Islands and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico and Hispaniola and the Turks and Caicos and Jamaica down the road. And then here is our wave out in the open Atlantic that I'll be watching for us all week long as well. Okay, so let's get back over to the models here, and we're going to take a look at the overall perspective. First thing I actually want to do is I'm going to switch over to this wind vector product. And then let me just loop this up here. So give me 1 second to get the model timeline correctly. This is going to give us a good indication of what the winds are going to be like over the next 5 days. So again, just give me 1 second here, guys. I'm switching models. Behind the scenes, as always, I'm looking at a lot of different things. So I want to get this correct model up. Okay, so this is going to show us a couple of different features here that's going to come into play. And again, it'll take just a second for all the information to pop on. What you're going to notice, and I mentioned it in yesterday's video, is a big old area of high pressure located in the central Atlantic. We get clockwise winds around an area of high pressure. This is going to continue to have very fresh easterly trade winds across the entire Caribbean and the Western Atlantic. This high is going to dominate the overall wind flow. Of course, what we also have is this broad low with this tropical wave over Central America, and still that Central American gyre at least in place somewhat. So you do have a relatively tight pressure gradient from southwest to northeast, so strong easterlies across our entire area. We get these purples, we get these pinks. That's 20 and 25 knot winds. Okay, and you can see how widespread those are going to be. That's going to kick up surf and sea conditions from time to time, 6, 7, 8 foot waves. So keep an eye out for that. The ABC Islands should continue to have some very strong wind gusts as well. But that's going to be the dominant wind pattern. So these tropical waves, they're going to be marching. They're going to be moving 15 to 20 knots, which means we're going to have a 12 to 24 hour window for that axis to move across your area. And then it moves off. You're not going to have days and days of rain in this given pattern. It's what we call a very progressive pattern, meaning that the storms are going to be hauling as they move through. So I'm going to show you the GFS model first. And again, this is a global domain, so we could look at anywhere across the globe on the GFS model. As I have mentioned, I don't think it's had a very good handle as the waves have come into the Caribbean, so we'll look at the NAM for a minute. But again, you can see that we'll still be watching some in the way of that tropical wave out here in the Atlantic as we move over the next couple days. We'll obviously see the wave that's impacting us in the Windward Islands now continue to move off towards the west. And again, does it have a great handle on this wave? No, not necessarily. I do expect there to be good rain chances for places like Guyana and Suriname and Venezuela as this wave moves through over the next 24 to 36 hours, and certainly up towards Trinidad and Tobago and the Windward Islands as well. So now let's get into what the NAM is showing, because again, it just has a little bit better handle on these waves overall. And I'm going to put this into motion. And first of all, I want you to notice how rapidly everything is moving from east to west. And by the way, if you stick around, you know I've got your island by island rainfall forecast coming up. But let's get into it. Places like the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, good rain chances the next several days. There'll be peaks and valleys, right? We're kind of peaking maybe today. We might peak again late Wednesday or early Thursday with the next tropical wave, but relatively speaking, an abundant amount of moisture, fast moving showers. This will more than likely limit the flash flood potential in a wide area, but could we get localized flash flooding with some of these heavier tropical downpours? Absolutely, so be aware of that. But again, widespread, no. 25 millimeters, 50 millimeters of rain, 1 to 2 inches, absolutely possible. And again, you can see the quick progression here as we get towards the end of the week, but still showers for places like St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John, on over towards Tortola, San Juan there in Puerto Rico, scattered showers to numerous showers for portions of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Again, fast moving progressive rain, Turks and Caicos included in that. One area that again could desperately use more showers is obviously our friends in Jamaica. Again, better rain chances overall a little bit later in the week. We're getting some good rain right now, and that's fantastic, but the higher rain chances overall will even come a little bit later, Thursday and into Friday. Cayman Islands would be included in that as well. But again, fast moving showers. Just don't expect this to, sit in one area for an extremely long amount of time. Our friends in the ABC Islands, once again, the model's still showing the opportunity for some rain across your area. It's lower than most spots, and again, it's fast moving. So is this going to bring a lot of relief? No, but hopefully, if nothing else, a cooling shower in this area from time to time. And again, best opportunity probably tomorrow and then into Thursday. Still going to be the most abundant amount of rain across the Yucatan and Central America. That tropical wave moving away is one thing, but we're still going to have here in the Southwest Caribbean an overall cyclonic spin. Now, again, it's not a tropical disturbance, but it is going to be flaring up showers and storms. So wet for Panama and Costa Rica, and then that moisture just slams right back into Nicaragua and Honduras and Belize and Guatemala and the Yucatan in general as well. So relatively wet forecast. Overall rain chances going higher. Once again, Cuba should mainly see just heat of the day storms, but they'll be fairly widespread. Bermuda will catch a couple of showers here and there. Best chance, I believe, is either later today or early tomorrow, and then probably dying out a bit. Again, that upper level low that was up here, just not a significant enough feature to provide a lot of rain, and it'll be really spotty, generally speaking, for the rest of the Bahamas. Even the southeast Bahamas, even close to that tropical wave, but certainly central and northwest Bahamas. Overall, I'm only expecting about a 30% chance for showers over the next several afternoons. Let's go island by island for you guys, rain chance wise, starting tomorrow. And again, let me know, are you team rain or are you team heat? What have you been seeing? 30% chance tomorrow in the Bahamas, 40% chance on Thursday as that moisture axis with the tropical wave comes through. Back to a 30% chance Friday for the northwest Bahamas, including Grand Bahama and New Providence. Going to keep it at a 40% chance for the central and southeast Bahamas, including the Acklins. Turks and Caicos, again, riding about the same rain chances. Cuba will see relatively high chances each and every afternoon. I don't think that pattern's changing. Cayman Islands will bump it up to a 40% chance on Friday, again, looking better, and higher rain chances overall, and an even improving rain chance for places like Belize City on Friday. Cancun and Cozumel will also see their rain chances ramp up towards the beginning of the weekend. For Jamaica, again, it's going to be very localized the next couple of days, but overall you have a higher chance on Thursday and Friday. And again, could I up this chance on Friday a bit? It's a possibility. That next wave we'll be keeping a really close eye on. Dominican Republic, higher rain chances tomorrow and Thursday. Then behind that moisture axis, we should start to see the rain chances fall. And again, highest chance tomorrow in Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Hopefully that'll help the heat a little bit. Drops off on Thursday, slightly higher again on Friday. Again, Bermuda's rain chances fall through the rest of the week. Anguilla, a 50% chance today and tomorrow, but we've already had some healthy rain there. And then more isolated to scattered rain Thursday and Friday. But again, the Leeward Islands and the Lesser Antilles in general should start to see slightly improving rain chances or holding steady for Friday. So you notice there's not much of a change here for Antigua and Barbuda and Montserrat and Guadeloupe and Dominica. It's about a 40 to 50% chance most afternoons. Again, I think there's a slightly higher chance late tomorrow, early Thursday, kind of where that moisture axis is most prominent. But as far as getting some rain chances, it's relatively good for Dominica and Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Barbados rain chances actually should ramp up even higher on Friday. Grenada comes along for the ride as well. Trinidad and Tobago stays relatively wet with scattered showers and storms each and every day. Even a better chance in Suriname and Guyana. Nueva Esparta catches more rain tomorrow, dries out a bit Thursday, and then higher rain chances on Friday. And we cross our fingers for our friends in the ABC Islands. I hope you guys get some of these showers. Speaking of the winds, I've already mentioned that. Here come the waves. There's your wave action. And again, with our fresh trade winds just sticking around and just not really going anywhere, guys, I'm going to expect there to be some 5, 6, 7, 8 foot waves that are going to be relatively common over the week ahead, especially for the Lesser Antilles, portions of the Bahamas as well. Basically on some of those exposed eastern facing areas, as those trade winds come in, we're going to get some rough weather. Hey, just be glad you're not in the Pacific. Look at some of those waves trying to come into the Pacific coastline of Mexico and Central America. Okay. So again, let's take a look at the wind gusts real fast. I think it's a pretty good product here. Again, vorticity-wise, we can take a look at that real quick as well. Loop that up. I've shown you this the last several times. Let's go out here a little bit longer. Go out about a week. Again, so we're looking for spin in the atmosphere here. I mentioned that one feature over Bermuda, and that's going to be passing by with showers, but nothing more than that. And again, here in the main development region of the Atlantic, even though it's still early in the season, we would look for some of these tropical waves to hold on to some of their spin. The next one that could be doing that again is the one that's out in the main development region right now. But do I see anything that I'm like, oh my goodness, we just really need to keep an eye out for this? No, not at this point in time. It's a very progressive pattern. More than likely, we're going to be quiet here at least the next 3 to 5 days. In this kind of hurricane season, I don't really even like to get beyond 5 days. Things can get squirrely in a hurry. Beryl is the first real example of that. I mean, a Cat 5 hurricane way earlier than there should have been. So again, it's something I always keep a really close eye on. But I love to show you this graphic. Again, we like to see these spins and just note them. But am I sticking a finger out and going, we got to really watch any of these? Nope, not yet, but I'll keep an eye on it for you. Now let's get into the rainfall here over the next several days. Again, going to go out 5 days basically, and we're going to have healthy rain totals. Is there going to be anything that goes, oh my goodness, we're in store for some massive flooding potential? No, but you can see here when I bring up, there we go, the query product here, and I just put these numbers on. And again, sometimes this query product is really cool and it lets me do multiples, and other times it's a stinker and it hates me and it doesn't let me put on more than one. And apparently, oh, there we go. See, I just had to ask very nicely. Sometimes you just have to beg this thing. But the bottom line is, as I go up the Lesser Antilles here, relatively speaking, it's pretty wet, right? In the next 5 days. We have healthy 25, 50 millimeters of rain, more concentrated St. Lucia south because the axis of heaviest moisture is a little bit farther south across the islands. So there you go. But is everyone going to get some? I think so. Once again, the model is very aggressive on the eastern side of Puerto Rico, including Vieques and Culebra and Fajardo areas, St. Thomas, St. Croix, over an inch of rain as well. Mona Passage could be very wet, and then you can, again, you get into pockets of heavier rain over the Dominican Republic and portions of Haiti as well. Not as much overall, and I wouldn't expect much in this pattern because it's moving so fast. We could get 3 or 4 inches of rain or up to 100 millimeters in some spots, but we're not going to have this rain just sitting over one area for very long. And I think the model does well on that. Once again, let's get a little bit more rain in Jamaica, right? Are we going to get a ton? No, but maybe on the far eastern sides of the island, Morant Bay, maybe 2, 3 inches of rain there. Old Harbor, Kingston, maybe about an inch, maybe a little bit more here on the western sides, maybe portions of St. Elizabeth Parish and maybe southern St. James and the eastern sides of Hanover and Westmoreland, Cambridge, Savannah, Lamar, Black River area, maybe a little bit more, right? If we average this out, 50 millimeters of rain, to me over the next 5 days sounds about right. Here's Grand Cayman, 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain there. ABC Islands before I move off towards the west. ABC Islands before I move off towards the west. Boy. Again, wish there was more. There's all the rain through Central America. Again, look at the Pacific. 6, 7, 8, 9 inches of rain. 150, 200 millimeters plus just over the next 5 days. But solid rainfall totals here, guys. Solid rainfall totals. Even Roatan, might catch a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. There's Belize City, Dangriga. Not as much in San Ignacio, but again, it's kind of an average. We want to average this out. And I don't expect there to be as much up in the Yucatan. So relatively speaking, Cancun and Cozumel will be okay. Heavy storms over Cuba from time to time, but again, very localized, and not a ton for our friends in the Bahamas overall. Just not a lot. Again, we average this out, 1/2 inch of rain in a couple of spots. I do expect the opportunity to be more rain than what the model is showing the Turks and Caicos. You're close enough to get the opportunity for some scattered showers. And then we swing up towards Bermuda. And again, not a lot, but a couple of showers there. Some heavy rain coming off the east coast of the United States, but it's going to stay off there at least over the next 5 days. Friends, you can find us across all social media, Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You want to send me your picture or video, it is myMediaMundo@gmail.com. Again, are you team heat or are you team storms? Let me know in the comments section below. Friends, have a great rest of your Tuesday. I'll keep you updated. I'll see you tomorrow with the latest right here at Meteo Mundo.